Yeah, there we go.
Hey,
Yeah,
my man.
yeah.
How we doing? We good?
Yeah, good mate, good. Just at home, just ate some dinner and now just shit, like, get the important adult stuff out of the way first.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I hear that. How's your week been so far, man?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been busy because obviously training 4 or 5, so 5 weeks out. So I'm about to start pulling my finger out and doing some extra
Hold on to that.
training and things like that.
Hold on to that. Hold on to that because we're gonna come to that.
Yeah,
So that's some of the yeah. So
yeah,
we'll come to that.
yeah,
But that's good. I'm glad you're on it, man. I'm glad you're on it. So,
yeah. It's good.
but yeah, I've got a little bit for that. We're asking questions. So, um, but apart from that, chilled, no drama.
No, no, no drama there. All
Good,
good, all good. Living a dream at the moment.
all good then. Good, right.
Mm.
Um, I try and start off with like high school area sort of thing. So back in high school,
Yeah.
the first question is like, if I say high school, what memories come to mind?
I'll be honest, I was one of them kids who was never at school. It
Fair enough.
was, yeah, it wasn't so much the actual school itself. It was more the people I was around. I know it sounds really bad. I actually liked lessons. My favourites was like history and science. I liked them because it was quite interesting. But I didn't really like school people as such.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I mean, why did you say that? I mean, why did you put it? You said, what is it about school you did like? Oh, was there any?
Uh,
You said you like your
yeah, I
history and
liked.
that, but
Yeah, I liked the lessons. Like, there's a few people I did like, but I think where I grew up, it was a bit. If you did, your face didn't fit, it was hard to fit in.
mm,
Um,
okay, okay,
it was brutal. Like, yeah, kids get hard today. It's brutal now, but we thought it was brutal back then as well. But it's brutal nowadays as well. If you don't have the right stuff, I grew up in people know Tin Town, and my mum and dad didn't have the most money. We wasn't the poorest, but we didn't have the nights, the things. So you'd get the grief for that, you know. But yeah, it's a bit hard growing up.
fair enough. Um, in regards to that, I was gonna say with high school, what advice? How old your boy? Because obviously, I was trying to work out from some of the because I know your boy started doing some of the boxing and whatnot, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's 8. He was 8 in October.
Hey, yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was gonna say, for when he hits high school, what advice would you have for him, or advice that you wish you were given before you started high school?
Oh yeah. To be fair, like quite luckily, he's neurodiverse, so he overthinks things, and he don't think, but he's actually quite a popular child. He's quite outgoing. He was different to what I was. He's really outgoing, so he won't find it hard to make friends, but sometimes he's too trusting, so he might go in the
Right.
opposite way, you know. So, but it you want to try and keep wanting to fit in, but sometimes you have to do things to fit in.
Yeah, no, I
So,
hear that. I hear that. So,
but
how does that
yeah, it's
how
it's
does that make
hard,
you
you know.
feel?
It's very
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I bet. I mean, I bet that's. I kind of feel like one of my youngest is a bit like that, and you know, where they've got to learn in the world, haven't they? You also want to protect them from everything, but we can't do that, can we? So,
Yeah, yeah, because that's how we learn off ourselves. Look, we didn't really
mm,
get much advice growing up. We're similar ages, so we didn't really get much advice. So, but even try to give advice,
oh, hello, you with
it's
me?
so
Is
that
it cut
world.
out?
It's like it's very hard. Completely different world nowadays for young children. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, 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 still we are.
Oh, cool,
Oh,
Karen. No, I think it might be. Oh,
yeah, yeah. Now I'm back about. Oh, yeah, just I think it's the Wi-Fi playing now. We're just on 5G. Oh,
cool.
am I
Can you
back?
hear me now? Sorry. Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
perfect,
took the
perfect.
Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is a bit. Nah. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, no, like you're saying, it's. advice wise, I was kind of like, again, it was like get on with it and learn your own sort of mistakes. And I think now I mean, it's a good thing. We're all sort of now meant
Yeah,
to be there. I won't say be there more for our kids, which we are, but I mean,
yeah,
it's not a case of to leave them there to fend, is it? I mean, that gets frowned upon now, isn't it? It's we're meant to be there to sort of fix every bruise and cut they have now, aren't we? But then that doesn't help
yeah,
them
yeah.
develop. So,
Nah, like it's mad. They don't learn life skills. You know, like at school, like we sort of learn our own life skills and stuff.
mm,
And like it's like a wipe their bottom sort of generation now. Like you have to do everything for them, and I think this is what causes a lot of issues with people because as soon as they have to fend for themselves, they get put in that situation. They don't know how to do it, so it's really hard for them to cope with it.
100%. I said before, that's like one of the worries with my boys because I do feel they're kind of pampered. I try and encourage them to, I say toughen up in the way of because I mean I look at them and I do think they need a bit more toughness. I'm very loving with them, but I still think they need a bit more.
Yeah,
I don't know the right words for it, but I mean I think it's just the way society is now because
it,
I mean
it's a
like back in the
mentally
day,
tough.
yeah, 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 and no, I mean even like now, like I mean you must have got a belt or a plimsoll over your ass when you were younger or whatever, and not thought much
Yeah,
of it. I did, but I mean if that
yeah.
happened now, it'd be the end of the world, wouldn't it? It'd be like breaking news. So
Yeah, you can't even threaten to do it now. You
yeah,
can't do that. You know, like,
literally.
yeah, yeah, it's a mad, mad world sometimes.
So I'm gonna go on to rugby because I know you love your sports. So when did rugby
Yeah.
come into your life?
This is one of my releases actually at school. That's
Right.
one thing I enjoyed at school. I love watching football. I follow Luton home and away. Tried to play football. I was never any good at it. I wasn't built for it. I was built for rugby. So I was quite young, about 12, 13 when I got into it and started playing. Um, and that was my release. I enjoyed it because it was a team and there was no judgment. It was like you're one of them. You're both. Everyone knows you're going onto the pitch to do the same thing, put your body on the line, and you'll do it for your mate. Your mate will do it for you. So there was no judgment, no matter what your background, whatever you were. It was that was you. You was you. All people saw was the color of your shirt.
That's good. So it's like that. That's like real brotherhood or camaraderie, isn't it, with rugby? So
Yeah, yeah,
I was gonna say I'll actually jump because I had some questions like further down in regards to that with rugby, but I'll add them in now. Actually,
yeah,
rugby obviously it's looked at as very sort of like masculine sport, very like alpha male tough sport or whatnot. And
yeah.
my question, which sort of links in with the manly ego stuff, is there a space in rugby for, say, for example, you turn up to training or you turn up on match day and someone can see, right, Trevor's not right today. He looks a bit sad. He looks a bit upset. Is there a space within like rugby or within the teams you played where someone could pull you aside and say, Trevor, what the fuck's up? Because, you're not good. And if you were to get upset or emotional, that could be done without being frowned upon? Or would it be the sort of typical man up, get on with it?
No, to be fair, they actually had a meeting a couple of seasons ago. A couple of lads were actually struggling, and they had a meeting. They pulled it together and sat down and said, "Look, anyone who's struggling, everyone is here to talk." The only manly part, the so-called manly part, manly ego bit, is the actual sport itself, putting your body on the line. But
Mm,
that's 80 minutes. Once that's done, everyone's friends, like everyone's making sure everyone is okay. It's quite good for the totally opposite of manly ego. To be fair, people are there to talk and help out. Like it's like solar opposites. Like because goes back to the football. Football played by gentlemen, watched by hooligans. Rugby is played by hooligans, watched by gentlemen. So like once you're away from the actual game, everyone's more on the level, more talkative and more supportive and stuff. Like it's sort of the alter ego.
I like that because I mean I was one of the sort of naive ones. I've always sort of assumed that rugby wouldn't sort of have that space for people when they're going down. But that's good to hear that you said it was actually brought up if people are struggling or people that are struggling, and everyone was
Yeah,
there for each other in that way. I think that's important, real important.
yeah,
Because I mean I guess people some people will join these clubs for more than just the sport. It is for that sort of belonging, isn't it? So
Yeah, the club actually set up, play for Stockport Park if no one knew, but they actually set up a thing with a charity called Star, and they basically help children that are either foster care, under watch of services, because it's actually sports actually good, and working as a part of a team is good for their actual brain health and stuff, like as they develop. So being part of a sports team is really good. So and then like, obviously then the outside stuff when you're on the pitch, when you're training, like come on mate, we're all in this together. Everything is all for one on one for all sort of mentality, and that helps. And that helps them like really young kids, and they've noticed that, and they've started to actually push for people that are struggling from a so-called worse off background to help them get into sports like rugby and stuff to help with mental health and things.
so how do you think your life would have been without rugby or without having rugby when it was introduced to you? I mean, do you think that's made a difference or played a role in who you are now?
Yeah, it sort of brought who more like my personality, I suppose. It'll probably bring out more of who I am. Makes me appreciate who I am. I might not be the norm, but when you're rugby, you see they're all different shapes and sizes, so no one's the norm, you know. So it's sort of like it brought me out of my shell. I think I'd probably be more reserved now and not as outgoing if I didn't have rugby, I suppose. And yeah, I'll probably be one of them football idiots, you know, go get drunk, shout at the away fans. Don't get me wrong, I used to do that as well as a release in
Yeah.
between, like tribalism thing. But I think I'd be more open to going down that route even further, if you know what I mean.
So it's definitely brought
Yeah,
sort of discipline and a bit of calm. A
yeah,
bit of
that's it.
calm,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. Channeled aggression, channeled calm. Mm.
um, so with football, so you've already said Luton Town fan, um,
Yeah,
and I know you go with your boys to a few of the games, don't you?
yeah. Just
Or all the
more
games?
of well, yeah, when we can, like we're going
Yeah,
next week to his birthday away game on a coach, but they're not doing too well at this moment. But it's more of a bonding thing. He's not overly into football, but it's just that is just like it's something to do with me, and it's something I like doing with him. He'll talk to me. I can see he gets bored, but he's like, "Daddy, I like it. We're spending time together." You know, so that's the more important thing. It's just finding
that's
different
brilliant.
stuff to
Yeah,
do.
that's brilliant. That's exactly what I was going to ask. Is it, when you go to the matches with him, is it more than just watching football? What else does it, do for you? Does it bring for you? And you sort of touched on it, the bonding element, which I think is important, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
I guess once the kids start getting to a certain age, then they ain't going to want to be, not going to be fussed, are they? They're not going to want to spend that time with us. So,
nah. But that goes back to your point you were saying earlier. Actually, it's all links in. It's like I'm trying without trying to monitor it, but show you that. So I take him to the pub before the games. How I used to go, like, oh, my dad took me here. This is where we used to go. This is what we do. So I took him through the routine of how I grew up, but without telling him this is what you do, so he can see
mm,
different lives around him so he can experience it without me telling him what it's like, how to do it. I just take him into that environment. So this is Daddy's friends, this is what we used to do. We used to meet here, blah 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 and stuff. So he sees what I do, so he can sort of like make a judgment of his own world, I suppose.
so has he got the same sort of sporty genes as you have as well, or is it just a case of, because does he play football as well? I mean, is he into rugby?
Yeah, I've tried rugby, but because of his age, it was just tag rugby, so he wasn't too. And because it was like he was in between ages, he was playing with the younger ones. So hopefully, he might get back into it. But he does kickboxing; he enjoys that. Um, he does that Thursday. He does swimming on a Monday. He enjoys that. And then we could do a dads and lads thing on Wednesday boxing. So that's run by charity. Um, any man, you don't just have to be dads and boys. It could be any man who wants to come along or any child. The mums can bring them along. It's just like a male focus group. And that also helps because everyone can talk because everyone has different problems. Or it's even just a case of just forget about things for an hour, just having fun. The kids will run about, they'll do a bit of boxing and then they'll play tag. It's not strict like you have to do this. It's more of like a mental release, and then you have a chat and stuff. So yeah, he's sporty. He wants to do stuff. Like I say, when he's neurodiverse, he gets. into stuff really easy, but he falls out of it easy as well. He gets bored quickly, but luckily with the kickboxing, because he grades and gets belts, he sees a reward out of it, so he sort of sticks at it a bit more. So yeah,
So with where you've mentioned a couple of times where he's like neurodiverse and all that, has
yeah,
that taught you more about yourself and like patience, or have you had to find different ways to sort of love or show affection? I'm just sort of throwing out general questions in
yeah.
regard to it.
Yeah, nah, mate, 100%. Like, so obviously, as we're growing up, we always got taught, don't keep, you're just naughty, blah, blah, blah. So my mindset, I've had to reteach myself. Luckily, the wife, she's quite a calming one. So we've had moments where she's told me off. I've had to go to the naughty step and he's had to go, because we sort of argue each other.
Yeah,
I probably know how to verse, but I've never been tested, like, obviously, with different generation. But I've been more patient, so and it is more me asking how he feels and telling instead of telling him things. We took him to he's had to go to counselling, but he's fine. And they tell us that ask him, speak to him, like, ask him how he is, like, and sometimes that helps, isn't it? So like, if he's feeling angry, we can then sort of address the issue and help calm him down and stuff, so it doesn't escalate as quick. But it's definitely made me grow up as a person, as well, like, and more understanding because it's just not children, it's also adults that get overwhelmed and overstimulated. But people don't see that; they're just thinking they just brush them off quickly.
and I guess it sort of makes you, not just you like me, uh, more understanding in situations where you never quite know how another child's operating or what their challenges are.
Yeah,
I guess it gives you a broader perspective, doesn't it? So yeah.
yeah, it
Boxing.
definitely makes you. Sorry, mate. I
You
was in
carry on.
fact go back
Carry
to
on.
the
No,
one.
you carry on. Carry
It
on,
definitely
please.
makes you think about how like children that you grew up with as well. Like looking back, you're thinking, blimey, they're all them signs in there, but people have missed it, like because people were so old fashioned that they're just being naughty. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just doing it for attention, and it makes you think now.
100%. I mean, because I couldn't concentrate at school. I mean, I was like, a lot of my behavior was down to just like I said, couldn't concentrate, so I'd mess about. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And there's other things where I do wonder if I was born today, what assessments or what would I be deemed as, but like you said, we grew up, we just were naughty or you were stupid, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
you had
yeah,
to get on with it.
100%.
So, so boxing. Um, UFC, the U ultra white collar boxing events. I know you've done a few of them, haven't you? I believe I've done a
Yeah, and
few of
that's
them.
how. Yeah, I done first one
Uh,
about 10 years ago, and I wish I'd have. Well, actually, probably a bit more than that now, but I wish I'd have stuck at it because I was still playing rugby. I sort of
yeah.
focused that. And then I know we're going to touch on it later, but obviously soaps,
Hmm.
right thing, maybe kickstart. I was like, well, I'm going to sign up again, I'm gonna raise some money. And I just basically stayed back into it, enjoyed the training, and just stayed back into it. Done one more, and then the guys were like, you can move a bit. So we've gone on to like next level. We're still classed as white collar, but it's like no head guards.
Yeah.
Lads have been on the circuit a bit more, got a bit more about them, sort of thing. So, yeah, it's all good fun.
So I was gonna say, with the ultra white collar boxing. So obviously initially you raise the money for cancer, which is important, which is a great cause and whatnot. But I
Yeah.
was always quite honest with it, and I would say if I wanted to just raise money for cancer, there's a lot safer ways to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
100%.
so what I mean by that is like being honest with myself. I've been a fan of boxing for as long as I can remember, but it was always a case of me being brave enough to step into the ring and see how I was doing that. And a lot of my motivation, like I said, it was great to raise, and I'm glad I raised money for cancer. But it was, I guess, if I'm being honest, it was about me seeing how tough I could be and see how well I would do in boxing. And I guess no, it was to satisfy the ego from that angle. So along with raising money for the events, is there any other motivation that made you want to start boxing or give it a
Mate,
go?
100%. My first one is exactly what you just said there. Come up, you're like, oh yeah, I could do that. Like I say, I play rugby. oh yeah, I'd like to do a bit of boxing. I can box. I mean, it can't be that hard. Blah blah blah. It's a charity thing. So yeah, I could do that. And then it was an ego thing as well. Also, you could raise money for charity, but I'm like, I first signed up for it. And that was my excuse to the missus. I was like, oh, it's for charity. I could do this. And she was like,
100%.
are you sure? I was like, yeah, it's charity. It's fine. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, it's an ego thing. A lot of it, a lot of people sign up for things like that. Not just ego, also proving to themselves, like jumping out of their comfort zone and thinking, well, do you know what, I can do this.
Exactly.
You know,
Do you remember how you felt before you got in the ring for the first time?
see, I'm weird. Like leading up to it, I'm fine. Like, and then it's the ring walk. That's when it all is happening. I'm like, blimey, like I get a bit, I suppose, anxious, adrenaline kicks in, but because I suppose playing rugby, I've sort of learned over the years to sort of calm my like focus my way, like what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna approach stuff. And there's a couple of guys at the gym, they'll watch their opponents and they'll thing, but I can't, like, I won't watch who I'm fighting. I just, that's my game. I just focus on myself. I don't worry about other people. It's always a different fight. No, even at this level, you're always learning, so you'll never fight the same fight twice. And I just sort of focus on myself. So I'm quite good at keeping calm. And then it's just to the ring walk, and then you see everybody there. And you're like, ooh. But yeah,
It's real then, isn't
the
it?
prep,
No, it's real.
yeah, the prep and stuff. I'm quite easy. I train. Like, it's like just one of them things sort of now. But yeah,
So,
definitely,
uh,
definitely.
I mean, I don't know where you trained back then. I'm assuming it might have been where everyone did at a time. But I mean, now where you're still boxing, I mean, I know, but I mean, where is it that you're training, and who's your coaches that are helping you with your boxing now?
It's a down Storm Gym on New Bedford Road. Jerry, the guy who done the set out, he's now partner down there. So he done the originals that you'd have done it team complete the first up Sundon Park, wasn't it originally? Um, so you've got Darren, you've done live with Darren, Dapper Boxing. He's one of the coaches. Um, there's a couple of, he's the main one. There's a couple of others, but it's sort of like one of them gyms where everybody helps each other now. I'm actually going to go for my coaching badge as well, so I can start doing children's lessons at the gym. But it's more of a community gym, so everybody sort of helps everybody. Because where it does other stuff like Muay Thai and MMA and Jiu Jitsu, it's there's not many boxing coaches down there to be fair, but so it's more of a self help sort of thing.
So, would you? So, with Darren, I mean, like I said, I know Darren as well, and I know he's not a mess about coach. I mean,
Yeah,
he's fun and thingy, but he's very serious about his training and whatnot. And I'm assuming the other coaches that are with him are. So, has that for you kind of made you, given you a standard where you're like, I know as much as we can have a laugh, there's a standard that they expect, and
yeah,
you want to be above that standard, and yeah, this is a standard I need to keep myself to respect the gym and the coaches.
yeah. No, they're honest. They're like, let me be honest with you. They ain't one of these efforts. Yeah, can't I want more? I want more. What they tell you, they're really good. They're like, I know you've got more. Like, I know you as a person. I know you. If they push you to the limits and they know you've given your all, they're not, I need more, I need more. There's very a lot of gyms out there like want you to go that extra mile, but they know that they're lucky they know you have. But what they'll do is though, if they know you are second, like, I know you got more, you are better than this, innit? I know that you got that little bit more in your tank. So they push you, but it's encouraging as well because when you hear that, look, I know you're better than this. It's just like I want more. It's like, come on, you know yourself, you are better than this. You have got more. You know yourself, you've got more. Not just demanding all the time.
So, I mean, I guess that makes a sort of big difference because, I mean, a lot of the time it can be not just a message that's being said, it's how it's delivered. I mean, and that's one of the things that I struggle with even till
Yeah,
today. It's like people can tell me anything, but it's how it's delivered, and
yeah,
and it's something I'm learning to improve on. So, I guess it's like you said, it's the coaches knowing you, knowing how to deliver the message to you, and ultimately get the best from you that way.
yeah. And then that goes back like when I'm a little boy, I learned that, like how they taught us. They said it's how you talk to them. It's like don't tell them, don't ask a question. Sort of like say to them, look, are you okay? Like, what's going on in your head and stuff? Like what will make you better? So they'll say to us, like, do you feel comfortable doing that? Because some people don't. Like, it's like most sports, most things is hundreds of years old. Everything's got to be this, and this. But when I help other people, like you know yourself, there's a pivot. People know like you turn a certain way, like, but some people ain't as flexible. It's like, I jump slightly. Like they tell you not to move. I goes, I jump, but I goes, as long as you're in that position, I goes, you don't have to do everything how everybody does. Is how you're comfortable, and that's what the coaches say. So like, if you can't do something, they're like, well, what do you feel comfortable? Like, we'll work on how you can do it in your own thing. Like so many coaches want you to do everything by the book. Like it has to be like this. This is what it looks like on the TV. You have to do it like this and stuff. So they're quite understanding and yeah, really. Yeah, like I said, they're like a family now. To be fair.
Good, good, and that's what sort of Darren was really touching on when I spoke to him.
Mm.
The family environment that it's created between the coaches and everyone there. So,
Yeah,
and I guess that will attract more people or the right people, won't it? So, in the way of like more people joining, so that's really good.
yeah, because that's one of the things. Like, if it goes about ego thing, like we tell people, there's no egos here. If you've got an ego, you might as well get out of the door. Like you sort of told that from the start. Not a bit ditty, it's just like we're here all to learn. We're not a professional gym or whatever. Like some of us do other bits, shows and stuff, but that's just for probably our own mental health and for our own mental well-being because we know we can do it and we enjoy it. But none of us are here. We're not going to win titles. I mean, I was 40 a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to win the world championship. Now, how am I and stuff? So, but you get some people come in and they think they're going to be the next Mike Tyson or whatever. But it's just like you got to park that, learn, listen, and then you go from there. If you're good, you're good. You will generally make it in life. But whatever walk of life you go down, whether it's career, whatever, if you're good at what you do, that'll shine through. You don't have to push it in people's faces. You don't have to tell people, like, I'm this, I'm that. You will prevail.
No, I hear that. I hear that. So it's no, you keep grounded. The gyms, between you keep grounded. Like you said, there's no ego, and you know, how good you'll be is how good you'll be.
Yeah,
Without,
yeah,
like
exactly.
I said, having to force it. So, um, your title fight coming up. So I know you said about no one's going to win any titles. Obviously, WBC titles and that you're on about. But I mean, regardless, whatever level you're fighting on, you're going to want to maximize and do the best you can. Um, so for you personally, what does going for this title mean? What does it sort of represent?
I suppose it represents the hard work because they don't know. They've only just seen videos of what I've done before. Not no one really would have watched me live, like you say. Everyone's on TV, so it's sort of. So I might have a look. So it must have been pressed somewhere along the line. So it's quite encouraging. It's nice to know that sort of work has paid off as well. But I was a bit took back as well, like being invited for a title fight as well. If I'm to be honest. I thought it was going to be a vet scene, innit? I'm start to try and wind down plus 40. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this, but I'll take any opportunity, it's good. Like I said, win, lose, or draw, as long as I put my all into it, just having that opportunity to go for it so quickly, to be fair. So, yeah, no, exciting times, to be honest.
So when is it? What's the date? Where's the venue?
28th of March at Hatfield Forum. Yeah, the Forum in Hatfield. Oh, yeah, good. And it's also the
Have you
first
been?
time I've been doing. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it'd be the first time I've been
Okay.
doing 5 rounds as well. So that was a bit of a sort of shot. I've only ever done 3 rounds, so but yeah, it's all good fun.
So, so obviously not asking tactics or anything like that, but have you had to adapt or change or come up with a new sort of regime with your coaches
Yeah,
to
it did.
facilitate for the 5 rounds?
Yeah. That's it. Just move, like, up my training, just instead of try well, more pacing myself now because I would try and go all out and be like a rugby player. Like when I first started boxing, everyone's like, "Your head's down." I go. used to playing rugby, I go fetal position. I like shell up and then I come out, shell up and come out. I've had to adapt quite a bit, but yeah, it's just more fitness, just learning. Like last night, I done 6 rounds of sparring, like as I would fight, just to get, just make sure I got the tank in me and stuff. So it's more just going that distance. And like I said, at this level, at my age, I'm not going to learn anything special boxing. It's more I just got to keep the pace, and I'll do what I'll do, whatever. But I just got to do it while staying in staying keeping up with the pace of the fight, basically.
I hear that. I hear that. So make sure there's more fuel in the tank, sort of thing, and then you can
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
delivering what you deliver. So
yeah, yeah. It's been a bit
sounds
hard at the
beautiful.
moment though, because I've had to lose weight, so I'm coming down to 90, and then so, but hopefully I get down there soon and I can start going back to eating sort of how I sort of used to.
All right. So that's a new challenge that's had to come in with this, then, hasn't it? Then so wow.
Yeah, yeah. But I want to do it anyway because if you healthy body, healthy mind and stuff. So I was looking to lose weight, so it gives me the sort of the another kick up the backside I needed to get down in it. So it's like two birds with one stone sort of thing.
I hear that. I hear that. Like I said, if it's like I said, losing weight make you healthier, it gives you more motivation to do it, doesn't it? So
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
right. So Holly,
Yeah,
you've been married for 12 years, right? And there'll be
yeah,
many
yeah,
more
12
years.
years.
What
Yeah.
has Holly brought to your life in the way of support, in the way of making you a better husband, a better dad?
She's made me listen to me because she's quite laid back. Like, I thought I was laid back, like in general, but she's very thing. She's very open-minded. She won't just judge, even just in general, other people. She'll find two stories. She won't just listen to her friend, and if her friend's like, "Oh, that's me," she'll go to the other person and find their side, not just like, "Oh, because that's my friend, I have to believe her." She's quite level-headed, and that's kept me level-headed as well. And very, very helpful with Arthur. She, like I say, she's been the rock. Like I don't know. Like I'd have probably had a mental breakdown to be honest with you. You know, but yeah, she's definitely the glue.
So does she create, or she? No, I'm assuming she does, but that safe space for you where it doesn't matter how tough the outside world see you, but when you need that cry or you need that someone to protect you, I guess that's you've got that within Holly, right?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
You can
Like I
you can
say,
let the guard down, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not all the time though. It's not joking, but no, it is. It's definitely
Yeah.
it is. But she was one of the hardest person I talked to. Like a couple of years ago, we went through a bit of stuff, like just not between us, but just in general, like in life. And I
Mm.
thought I could make it better. Typical man thing. I'll make it better, but without telling her. And I was close to ending it. If it wasn't for Arthur, I'd get in my car and I thought, like, I'm just going to keep driving, you know? And she was like, look, don't hide it. Even if it is bad, there's always a way we can work it out. I goes, yeah, but how my brain works, I just think I'm the one who can sort it out all the time. Like, say the ego thing. I'm the man. I got into this situation. I'll be the one to get out of it. Like, people can't help me because it's my problem. I've done it, you know? So we went through few months, like really thing, and then it was a case of just both of us sitting down. I had a cry, you know what I mean? She's like, look, it's good, you need to do this. So I'll be brutally honest. And yeah, she got me through. She was like, look, just talk, like whatever it is, we just need to talk. Like even if it sounds silly and it's hard and you know I'm gonna be annoyed with you, that's not gonna last, you know. That's just natural. People are gonna be angry, annoyed, whatever, but then we can work it out and we can fix it, you know. And then I've learned that like the last few years as well. So that's made a massive difference in my life.
Why do you think, as men? I mean, it's one of the questions that's hard to answer, but why do you think we kind of no, I'll sort it out by myself? It's you know, why is that our natural default?
I think it goes back to the generation thing, like I said earlier, like when we said we'd get slip around our thing. You come on, why that boy's being up, you know, you go out there and beat him back up, you know, like it's one of the things. It's definitely a generational thing. I think boys now and lads now do speak out a little bit more and do say their feelings, but us, it was always like, oh, you have to do it, deal with it yourself. Like how grew up, like how rough upbringing. You know, my mum and dad were there, but they weren't together. They were separated. But like, you'd have to stand on your own 2 feet. I was cooking my own dinner at like 10, 11, and things like that. You know, like we was growing up quick, and I think that's what it is now. We just because we've always sorted our own problems out. It's just a like I say, we're all probably a bit neurodiverse, and then I just come hyper focused. It's my problem, no one else's. I done it. I think it's all in me, and then you get into your own head like no one can help me. I have to help myself, and yeah, like I say, it is hard, but my experience is more. I just keep thinking I can do it myself.
I hear it again. It can be a vicious loop, can't it? It can be a vicious
Yeah,
loop. But then, if we're lucky, we've got that special person or them special people that will help us see there is other ways, and there are people that will help. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
right, gonna move on to Ian, Sophie,
yeah,
absolute legend. Yeah, amazing
yeah,
person. A lot of people will know him, but for a lot of people that don't know him, an amazing mutual friend between the two of us, and again, many others. But
yeah,
we lost him couple of years ago, and it was I knew how popular he was, but I didn't realize how many lives he had touched. And what I mean by that is he used to always seem to find the time to reach out for people. I mean, like for example, he would
yeah.
call me once or twice a week. It could be an hour conversation, it could be half an hour conversation. I know he used to do that with loads of other people, and you know, he wasn't wanting anything. It wasn't even we'll go out and do this. It was generally just calling, seeing how you are, and he was one person I would always respond to. I commit. Sometimes I'd be like, I can't be bothered to answer that call,
Yeah,
but with
yeah.
him, I'd respond to everything because I knew it was 100% genuine, and he was just checking in on his friends. And I kind of wish I had half of that sort of selflessness that he had for other people. I mean, that's just one thing that comes to mind when I think about him.
Mate, that 100%. When you messaged me earlier to say that, that's the thing that went straight to my mind. He was like just at his funeral, bless it. Like I've never seen nothing like it. Like honestly, it was amazing. Like the send off he had. But he was generally one of them guys. Like I signed up to do stupid charity things because like how my brain works. I think, right, need to get fit. I go to the gym, but because I've got nothing to pay for, I signed up to do 100-mile bike rides. I didn't have a bike, so I borrowed a bike to do it, just to do it. So it gave me something to aim for. And then he'd be always, whatever I did, he'd be the first person to donate money or whatever. And he'd message me straight away. He's like, "You're mad." I don't know why you're doing it, but he's like, "Good luck, mate. Like, fair play to you." And it'd be the same, but he would always, like you say, the very most supportive guy. And I always felt like a lot of people would have reciprocated. Like he was always looking into how are you, how are you, how's things. Like even at rugby when he was the captain, he's like, "Oh, you're all right." Like he'd sit down and talk to people. Like, "How's things? You good? Work good?" Just general chit chat, just to make sure they're low. But no one would always ask him like, but how are you, Soaps?" And it like I mentioned him back saying, "Nah, what about you? Like, how's God treating you? Like stuff. How's things? How's work? Like you busy and that?" And he would tell me, "Yeah, yeah," and then when he worked and then he moved to Watford Hospital and stuff when he was like working up there and things. But a lot of men, I think sometimes that's another reason why people can't talk out as well, because sometimes when they talk and ask people, no one asks it back. So I think in your head, you think to yourself, no one actually cares about me,
Yeah,
So sometimes just asking a question back, like it's nice to have someone there to listen to you, but sometimes you need to listen to other people as well. And it doesn't have to be like how are you mentally, like how's things, like are you coping? It could literally just a nice question like how's work, how you doing, you're busy, just ask about it, make sure just so they know that you're there, like thing. And then I don't know if you see, like I did a debrief with my little boy, like that's what we call it now, like after swimming on a Monday to sit down and have a cake and stuff. And I just talk to him. I just say to him, how was the weekend? Even though we're together, I was like, "So how did you find the weekend? Was it fun?" So like, I just get to that where I can, like, he can feel comfortable to talk to me as well. So he doesn't need to think I'm daddy. I could be friends as well. Like he's there if he needs to just talk about anything. And that was 100% what Soapy was. Like. him and Arthur, honestly, he used to work because Arthur always used to have a staff. He's like, your boy always looks grumpy, doesn't he? But he'd always talk to Arthur like, okay, yeah, that's just him, innit? Yeah. But he smiles and like he had the most time for the Arthur, like most time for any children, like he did not care. As long as he knew people involved, that's when Sophie was the happiest.
Yeah, no, he's yeah, very special, very special. And
Yeah,
I mean, what do you have any sort of funny memories of him? Because there's one that it always comes to mind when um it was, I say we used to call ourselves like we're Links Way boys, not from Gangway, just because we
yeah,
used to play football. We used to play football down Links
yeah,
Way, so Lancaster Park. Sorry, I mean we used to play football, and we went out to Liquid when it was actually up and running in the summer one night, and it was boiling hot outside. We went in, and they were obviously playing the old trick of turning the aircon off so you buy more drinks.
yeah,
So I think we ended up leaving about 10 o'clock 'cause it was too hot inside there. But obviously everyone's absolutely tanked up on drink at this time. So we're walking towards the taxi ranks, it would have been towards the Galaxy. And Ian, for some reason, picked up a cinder block and was walking, swinging it around. And I don't know who it was. Someone said to him, like, what the fuck are you doing? And
yeah,
next thing we know, we all turned, it all turned into our like sort of Royal Rumble wrestling. So we used to always,
yeah,
everyone used to piss about and just sort of wrestle. So we were there play fighting in the middle of the green in the little
yeah. George
grass bit by the
Square.
mall. That's it,
Yeah,
George Square.
yeah,
It went over to where the Galaxy was. People like break it up, because half people didn't realize we were literally just play
yeah,
acting
yeah.
wrestling
But
and
yeah,
whatnot. And there was a good 15 of us, so I can understand why it looked a bit.
yeah.
And
Especially
he
in
ended
Luton.
up literally that.
Yeah.
And he ended up push because there's that little river by the Galaxy, or I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know if
Oh
it's
yeah, the
even
River
still.
Lee. Yeah, the little runoff bit, innit?
That's it. And he ended up pushing me
Yeah.
over the wall, and I sort of dropped onto the bank just in front of that. And yeah, it was absolutely mad. And it's just one of the things I remember with him. So I mean, do you have any sort of like silly memories or whatever you remember?
Yeah, a lot like on the rugby pitch. Like, I could try to think of things, but like he's normally so calm. But like when he used to get frustrated, he'd be like, "Fuck it!" Like it gets so frustrated, like, "Fuck it!" Right, and he'll forget what he can say, and he'll just be like, and he'll just pull faces, but just go away. Look, just tell me what you're meant to do. And he'd want to have a go at you, but because of the type of person he was, he couldn't, if you know what I mean. So he had all these words in his, you could see, he had all these words in his head and his whatever he wanted to tell you, and he would just be like, fuck off with it, just get with the game, innit? Because I'd always tell him, I go, Sophie, sometimes you're too nice, mate. Like, tell people to fuck, especially on the rugby pitch, because you're the captain. I goes, I know I wind you up. I goes, but if you want to tell me I'm a dickhead or tell me to fuck off or get on with it,
Mm,
tell me, if I'm getting too much, tell me. I goes, you need to tell these lads. Like, because sometimes they would take the piss because he is nice and they think, it's
mm.
just soaps, isn't it? We'll just do what we want, sort of thing. But I think that time he had massively a lot of respect. With rugby, we have lads from 18, 19, all the way up to 50. And everyone, there's no age discrimination in it. Everyone's, like I said before, thing. And a lot of the lads that were on the team, the younger ones, felt his passing more than a lot of people, like, because all of them looked up to him so much,
Right.
like, he'd give them advice. And he would take them under the wing as well, like, and it wouldn't be about like how their performance was or anything like that. It was just like, so how you doing? You're a beard, and he would just chat to everybody on the level, like, and it was just like I say, we see at his funeral, like the range of people that were there, like young, old, all different backgrounds, like he was one of them guys, isn't it? Bless him.
Talking about his funeral, like it
Mm,
was it was the most beautiful one I've been to. And I mean, just the whole day, the
yeah,
the weather was perfect, the
yeah,
the atmosphere, the energy was perfect. There was no tension, there was no animosity between anyone. There's no one who got so pissed out of their head that they. Do you know what I mean? Everything was perfect.
yeah, yeah,
And it sounds silly, but I know you can relate to it. It's almost like the only thing that was missing was actually Ian being there. to
Yeah,
join in
yeah, yeah.
with the fun of it. But obviously, with do you get what I mean? It would have been if that was a different occasion and he was around. He would have been that person you would have wished was there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because there's been a couple of times like watching rugby, like when he, oh, Scotland beat England, because it's typical. He's passed away. This will be Soapy's moment, because that was another thing. Like he always stuck to his roots. He was always Scottish, like he
Mm.
wouldn't back down. Like I goes, most people try and hide their Scottish. You're proud of it,
Uh,
innit?
oh,
Like we
GT
always
was
used to
so
joke
proud.
about
Bless
things
him.
like, yeah, and he wore his heart on his sleeve. And I goes, it was just typical things like that. I goes, and then his football teams like Aberdeen, and they were going to win a cup or so. I goes, it's typical, isn't it? I goes, the poor fella, he's waited years for this, never seen it in his lifetime, and they're going to go win the cup when he's passed away, bless him. But it's just like, I goes, that's a soapy moment. It'd be like the same on the pitch. Something could have happened, and he'd missed it or something, do all the hard work and miss the final bit. But he would always, even if it was like we get a cup, if he missed out on going to the cup, he'd always like, well done, lads, great effort. Like, he never was bitter about anything. Like, he was just so much on the level. It's unreal.
So I mean, I didn't actually find out until I think it was actually after he had passed because I didn't realize I didn't know why he was called Soapy because I wasn't part of the rugby circle as such, so I didn't know where the name come from. And I guess you'll be equipped to sort of explain why he got the name Soapy because as far as I was aware, it was he wasn't the best with ball control when he started or whatnot. I don't
Ye-
know. You know better than me,
Yeah,
but I
it's
mean,
a,
the reason I say that is because how well he improved from how he started at rugby.
yeah, no, he's always a good player around the pitch, but when he's like catching it, drop it. But I think one of it come from he used to be a hooker, so he done it like he take the throw in the line out. And it was that wonky. It went to our player like that was standing about 10 foot away. And, he was like, and then someone said, "It's like you got soap in your hand. You just slipped it away." And I think it just come from there, and then everyone just stuck to we calling him soaps, innit? For me, like
Soapy.
soapy because he's like got slippy hands, isn't it? Like,
Ah, okay.
yeah, it's just one of them silly ones. But he lived by that, innit? But everything he'd message, I'd always be soaps and stuff at the end, So he embraced it. He liked it, innit?
Mm, fair play. Um, if he was sitting in your dressing room before you, we'll say before this title fight, he
Yeah.
always had like kind, warm words to say. What do you think he would say to you? Maybe you're a little nervous or maybe you're not, but what would he be saying to you if he's sitting with you before you make your ring walk?
Man, let's give it a bit of tingles actually, to be fair. Um, he'd be like the coach as well. He's one of those guys be like, look, you've got it. Don't panic. Don't worry. You know what you're capable of. Just go out there and do what you do. And that's what he uses. It's still like everybody's like, you know what you got. You know what you can do. Just go do it. Because I don't need to pep you up. I don't need to give you the big rousing Braveheart speeches and stuff. You know in your head. You know what you've got in the tank. You just need to go out there and do it. And he's just yeah. I think that's what he's there. He's just like, look, relax, just go do your thing.
Simple and effective.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he was, man, 100%.
Uh,
But he always knew how to say it as well. Like, even though it sounded like say simple, it's how he come across as well. Like, because
yeah.
it's him. Like, he was genuine as well. It's not
Yes.
someone just saying, "Oh, you're good. You get a patch on it. You're good. You can fight. Just go out with it." Because you knew he was genuine. You took it on board more.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You'd listen to him because, like you said, it is coming from a genuine place. It's not to gas you up. It's not to. It is. He just says it as it is. He says it in
Yeah,
this is how it is with you, and he delivers that message. So.
yeah, because if he thought you thing, he'd tell you, but the geezer looks good, Trev, because you'll be have to be on top of your game. He'll never say, yeah, you got the figure here, say you have to be on your toes, or even when we're playing rugby, he'd be like, yeah, you're better than that. Come on, mate, you can raise your game, like, and he would say, like, it wouldn't be arsey, he would just know what you've got, and how he says it, yeah, come on, Trev, look, you're better than this, just relax, calm down. So I'd beat myself up on the pitch, I'd get angry, the ego thing comes back into it as well. Ah, that's bloody well, I need to beat him, he's done this to me. And he'll just tell you, be calm, look, just relax, calm down, reset, you're better than that. You don't need to get involved in any of that stuff. You know what you can do. And know how to do it all. So yeah, he's just yeah, like I say, he's definitely one of them people. If you've got his mindset in the back of your mind, that will help you a long way. You know, even if he's not here, just thinking of what he'll say will help you through a lot of stuff.
Do you know what? That's a really good thought. That's actually a really good thought. I like that because it's almost like what would Ian say? What would sort of Sophie say right now?
Yeah, 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 100%.
Final question. Um, might be a bit of an awkward one. I'll say awkward one, a hard one to answer, but it's what is your message of positivity or advice for, it could be someone who needs it or for the world in general? Kind of similar to what I asked in the last live, but if you had to give a message to the world to make people smile.
You know what? Like, it's old cliche. Tomorrow's never promised. Take the little things today that made you smile. Just try and hold on to it. You know, you're never gonna memories last a lifetime. You know, material things come and go. What's done is done. I know it's very cliche sort of stuff saying, but what's done is it can't be undone, can it? So, like I said earlier, when we talked to our little boy, what's made it? How can we make it better? What's done? You learn from your mistakes, yeah, and then that's how I always think. Like, my little boy would do kickball, he'd do something. I was like, mate, you know what you done wrong there? Just do it right next time. I goes, you learn from your mistakes, and I think that's what a lot of people dwell on. I know there's a lot of pressures in society now. There was before of like everything has to be perfect, so I can get why people hold on and dwell on stuff. But it's done. What's done is done. You know, like just try and it is easier said than done a lot of time, but just try and forget about it, move on, and just make it better next time.
I hear that because it can't be changed, can
Yeah,
it? So
yeah,
there's no point of
exactly. You know,
ruminating on it.
yeah, 100%.
What's the what's the plan for the rest of the weekend then?
Cinema tomorrow, little one, and then just chill. Just
Nice.
I've been like 5 days training, so yeah, better give the old body a rest. And it's not what it used to be.
I hear that. Definitely deserve a break if you've been on 5 days training. So, and like you said, time with your boy, priceless. So,
You know, that's another thing I said to people. Your mental health. You keep that clear. Your body, like like healthy mind, healthy body. I think because if you think you can't do something, you're not going to do it. You know, so it's good to get out, go for a walk, and then start with the boxing for an hour. Forget about stuff. You know, and then it just clears the mind and you reset yourself. Like if you're dwelling on something, going back to that last point, if you dwell on something, that'll eat away at you. Try and do something where you can just get away from it, forget about life for an hour or so, and then refresh your mind and go again. And I think you'll see things so much clearer. You know, like you'll have a bit more positivity. You're like, right, that's what went bad. This is how I'm gonna fix it now. You know, just keep the old headspace clear.
I hear that. I hear that.
Mm.
That's good. I mean, like you said, the body and the mind both connect well. And I mean, if one's not firing properly, the other probably isn't going to fire as well as, fire as it
Yeah.
should, is it? So,
Nah,
I
100%.
like I said, clear head, be on point. So,
Yeah.
thank you for jumping on, my man. Really
No,
appreciate
no,
you
appreciate
giving your
it.
time. We'll be following the fight journey,
Yeah.
especially towards this title thing. I'm intrigued with that. So,
No.
and personally, I'll be catching up with you in between and whatnot, and seeing how the
Yeah,
progress is going.
yeah, I'll jump back on as well after. And then if people
That'd be
want, if
brilliant.
you don't mind, I'll jump on with
No,
Arthur as well, let you
100%.
know how he thinks about stuff as well,
Oh,
you know?
that'd be brilliant. That'd be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's for me. It's important to get you know not just everyone, but especially men, talking and being prepared to express a bit of vulnerability, and it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel that way. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the more of us that are doing that, the more other people realize it is okay and it is safe to do that without being judged.
Yeah. Because the biggest suicide rate is men, you know, and
Yeah,
when you look into the stories, I've had people do it. Like, I know people from years ago, it's always been a problem. It's because they feel like they can't say something to somebody, you know, they feel like there's no way out. And, you know, that one little talk can make a massive difference, you know. Might not fix
100%.
everything, but it can help heal some of the stuff, you know. I mean, just put the band-aid on it just to keep it just to keep them on the level, you know, and then they can help themselves after it and stuff.
100%, 100%. And it's it really is important to like think I can have that conversation without someone, you know, ridiculing me or mocking me or belittling me. When you have and to be able to think, do you know what? I spoke to Trevor and it was all right, and
Yeah,
he didn't. He doesn't look at me differently about that, and I think that's really important, especially with men, because you know we definitely haven't caught up with women in the way where they have their conversations, they look after each other that way, and they're usually more free flowing with the conversation. Men need to get closer to that, I think, maybe in our
and
own way, but we still need to do it. So
yeah, and you know, I learned from talking. I think more people actually going through more can relate to you more. They're actually going through it. You think no one's going through your problem. You'd be surprised how many people go through the exact same sort of
yeah,
thing. Everyone's going through it. Like I said, they probably have money, mortgage, everything goes up, bills go up. You think you struggle if you get. And when you talk, you think you're the only person go through it. And when you talk, it's like, oh yeah, we're the same thing. We've had to cut this, we've had to do this because we can't pay it because this has gone up. And you start thinking, shit, actually I should have spoke because there are people out there and I could have got what they did, like how they went, oh, we done this helped, we spoke to this person and this helped. But because we was doing that thing of like, I'm the only one who's got this problem, it was only my problem at the time. Whereas if I'd have spoke, I'd have realised oh, there's more people that actually you can relate to and actually can help.
so I mean, it's getting out of that suffering in silence, isn't it? Because, like you said,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is more people that are there for you to help you. And
yeah,
if only I knew that that's what Malcolm or Trevor were going through, I could have reached out to him. But no one's gonna know
yeah,
if we keep our mouths shut and suffer.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Trevor, once again, thank you so much, my man. Really, really
No worries,
appreciate
mate.
it. And
No,
please do jump on again. Please do
yeah,
follow your journey. Uh, and keep spreading the words and encouraging with positivity like you have. You've been absolutely brilliant.
yeah,
And
yes,
again, I'm learning from everyone I'm talking to on here as well because it's stuff that I watch these videos or the recordings over, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
stuff that I'm learning because it's I'm a work in progress. I always will be, and the only way I'm
yeah,
learning is by having these conversations and looking at other perspectives. So
yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah, but yeah, no, I appreciate it as well. Thanks for like inviting me on and stuff. I appreciate it.
enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah,
Enjoy
no worries,
cinema
mate.
tomorrow, and we will
Yeah.
catch up soon.